This is Gema Smith with All Things Real Estate. But in this segmentation, we are talking about estate planning. We have a very special series. It's called Geriatric Care Management. Now, that is near and dear to my heart. Most of you may have known that 5 years ago, both my father and mother-in-law became ill from the beginning of onset dementia to now the end of life. So it is a near and dear subject to my heart and information that I'm so glad I'm able to share with you. And with us today is a wonderful individual that's with wealth of information. And I like to welcome Dedra Jize to our program today. Welcome, Dedra.
Thank you, Gema. Yes, very, very much a pleasure to be here and to share with your clients and people watching out there, because education is so hard to get through, because normally people don't hear about geriatric care management unless they're in the throngs of upheaval. And it's nice There's some things we could prepare for.
Exactly. Now, for our audience, share with them a little bit about your background, so they'll know who you are a little bit more in depth.
Okay, so my career actually started as an occupational therapist over at Good Samaritan Hospital, worked in the psychiatric area, and through the years kind of went a different direction, ended up working in an adult day program for those with Alzheimer's. And from there, made the jump over to here at the law office of Litherland, Kennedy & Associates, where as a geriatric care manager, I've been here for almost 8 years, became a certified senior advisor. And so I'm here to help the families.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. And I'm so honored for you to be on this program with me. You share the same passions I do. So I look forward to this next 4 segmentations that we're going to host today. So to start out, Dedra, share with our audience, and I have basically 3 questions, and then we can go through them. You can answer them. What can geriatric care management do for my family is one of the questions. Secondly, who needs geriatric care management? And lastly, how can the California elder law help with the care management? So for the first one, again, what can geriatric care management do for my family?
Right. So what I do by people talking to me, especially for the adult children are sometimes considered the sandwich generation, where they are dealing with their elderly parents or aunts and uncles, whoever it may be. And then they're also dealing with their children, maybe even kids in college. They're getting married or whatever that's going on with them. Plus they're working that 40+ hour job. So they are stuck and they don't have the time to figure things out. And that's where a geriatric care manager can really direct and lead them. So that's who it is really for.
That is so awesome. And I definitely understand that, because I'm a sandwich generation individual. My husband and I take care of, 5 years ago, started with my in-laws, and then our son started, was graduating out of college and then going into his career. And then we were just right in that middle. Okay, what do we do? And dad is asking for help, right? And so we're working full time and we're trying to do everything else. So, individuals like yourself are a godsend. So thank you for that. And secondly, who would need the geriatric care management? I think you kind of touched on it, but expound on that a little bit more.
Right. So it's usually, it's sometimes it's the adult children, and sometimes it's the elderly person themselves. When they see there's changes going on, they don't really know where to turn to. Perhaps they have family outside the area and they need someone to come partner with them, or they just have a lot of questions like, I was thinking of, my wife and I are thinking of moving, I'm not sure if that's a good idea. We're thinking of selling our house. Not sure if that's a good idea. We're thinking of senior community versus buying someplace else, and having these conversations, because there's just tons of questions, because this is a time for the elderly in transition.
Exactly. Now, last question, you work for an elder law firm. So how do they help? And just briefly describe the services that they will offer.
People find it very strange that when I'm talking to them about any of the situations, especially in the other ones, segments that will be coming up, is that foundationally is the legal documents that a person has in place. And that is what's going to give authority, specific authority to their agents to help them, to come alongside and help them. And it may be with finances, might be with healthcare decisions, making sure you've got the complete discussion about what your wishes are, what you're wanting, and all these aspects are in your legal documents, estate planning documents, whether it be a trust or just a simple plan that includes the will and power of attorney for finance agent. There's all these different parts to it, but very important to have all this done during a time where you are clear thinking, have the capacity, and know what it is you want.
Exactly. That is so critical and so crucial, and so important. And a lot of folks just don't realize that that is a step that needs to be taken and done early on, not when you're thinking you're getting ill, but early on. Right. And I thank you so much, Dedra, for sharing those three. Now we are going to have some powerful segments following. So if you have not subscribed to my newsletter in regards to the estate planning, I invite you to click on the link below, register so you can receive and have access to all this information. It is my goal to educate. It's my goal to provide you as much information as, not only if you're a sandwich generation individual, but if you're also in that elderly stage where you want to receive aging in place or whatever services you're looking for. So, but continue on in our series with estate planning. And then this one specifically is on the elderly and the geriatric care management. So tune in to our next segment. As always, Jerry, I'm Dedra. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome, Jen.
And look forward to for the next segmentation. So as always, I thank everyone for joining us today and stay tuned for our next segment. See you then.